What's up YouTube, photo shoot here from Tengumania Town with a very special video. We've got the current champion for Tengumania, the guy that got first place at the Tengumania 4 with TG, Shinuslaw.
Hello.
aka Shin, since no one can pronounce that name.
Yes.
So yeah. You went 7-0 in Tengumania in our little double elimination event. So yeah, after your deck profile, we will go over the matchups, what card you like the most, obviously, and also what you would change, and like the most hyped events you had during the tournament, which we didn't catch on stream, but I know there are two events we got on stream to really hyped about.
Yes, we'll talk about it.
And also we are getting some cat content.
Yeah, there's a cat. Okay.
So yeah, let's get to the deck profile.
Okay, I can show you the deck. I played TG Stun, reminiscent of my good friend Tyler Nolan. I said so on stream because I think Tyler Nolan is one of the best stun players ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I play 3 of every TG monster because, you know, it's a TG deck and there are only like 3 good TG monsters out there that float. Most people play 2 striker, I play 3 striker because I want another monster. And in testing I saw the Pot of Avarice is just bricky. But without Pot of Avarice I wanted another monster. It was good, I never sided it out. It makes synchros. The other monsters are self-explanatory. Rush Rhino is the best card in the deck. I would play, I guess, like 6 if it's possible. Around 6 Rhinos. 3 Tengu because it's the best card, one of the best cards in the format, maybe the best card in the format. Beast Warrior. What do you say? Almost every stun deck should run this card. I mean, of course not heroes, but yeah. And I was a bit iffy because that's like 12 monsters, but I wanted a bit more. What do you play? I thought about Ryo. So most people in the like Discord, Tengumania Town, play tour guides, but I say I'm a beatdown person, so I just play 2 Barbaros, and I think it was pretty good because Barbaros is another Horn of the Phantom Beast target, and the deck loses a lot if you like break on Horn of the Phantom Beast or similar things. So I liked Beast King Barbaros, and it also works well with another card I'll show you later. It's like not super good, but it's good enough and also works with Skill Drain.
Have you summoned it with 3 tributes during the tournament?
Yes, I did it once. I'm pretty sure. Wait, give me a second. Was it a tournament or was it in testing? I did summon it once with 3 tributes, but it was. No, I didn't in tournament.
I saw you doing it in testing,
Yeah. No, I didn't. It's unfortunately it almost never works. It's but it had 3000 attack often. The best card in the format, the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! My favorite card ever printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Spot of Duality. It makes every stun deck playable. Was too expensive when I played in 2011, but now I can play
100 euros each. Do you think this card makes formats better?
Yes, this card makes formats way better because it makes kind of bricky decks better, but like not the, you know, the Unga Bunga I throw everything on the field bricky decks, but decks like, you know, like spaceships that are like this kind of deck, gadgets, everything is a bit better for of duality, and I love it. And because spell cards are bad, I only play 3 more spell cards. You need to play this, it's too good. This one is too good with Barbaros to not play it. And also you can reborn Stardust and stuff.
And you can side it out against GK.
Yes, and Book of Moon in Super Rare looks so nice. And Book of Moon because Ryo exists. I think it's not as strong as in other decks, but it's still good enough to play. I even sided it out once or twice. Okay, let me see. I show you the trap lineup. We have 3 Horn of the Phantom Beast, so it's a bit weird. I think I'm one of the only TG players that I'm not sure if I like this card too much because I bricked on it a lot in the tournament with like no TGs. But when it goes off, it's the best card. You can rewatch the finals on TCG Rewind channel. I think in the second or first match of the finals, I drew 5 cards with 1 of the Phantom Beast. Yeah, this card is nuts. The other reason to play TG is TG EM1. I think running 2, my opinion, is perfect. This card wins so many matchups. People don't play around it. It's also pretty difficult to play around, to be honest. But running 3 is too bricky. I think like 5 of these bricky traps, how I would call them, is enough. And I guess one of the Phantom Beasts is like the better, especially against all the stun decks running around.
Yeah, TG1 EM1 is like the only card I'm scared of in favorable matchups against the deck.
Yes, I can. Getting a Scrap Dragon from scraps is like.
Yeah, I had that happening to me at
Juicy.
YCS Dortmund.
Then I played to Skill Drain. In the server, most people opted to not run Skill Drain, but with Barbaros, I guess you need to run Skill Drain, and also it's pretty good against agents, in my opinion, and which is like a weird kind of matchup, which I don't like to play against too often. It's like amazing against a lot of rogue stuff that you sometimes play against, like super shitty against heroes, but you just side it out against heroes. I think it's still good. I would never run more than 2 in this kind of deck because it also just breaks a lot, and in this format Skill Drain is often just good but not super good.
Would you run 3?
I don't think so. Maybe a third one on the side. I don't think. I think 2 is enough for most of the time because in this format it doesn't do enough. Too many decks run floaters, you know? Even like X-Saber can play under Skill Drain.
What do you think about like the builds with Tour Guide and without Skill Drain?
I'm honest, I don't like it, but it's not how I play. I think TG is a stun deck, and best played as a stun deck. And with Tour Guide, it's weird. You can't run the cards that I like. And I think even with like Tour Guides, TG EM1 and Horn of Phantom Beast is also a bit weirder because you have so many monsters that don't work with that. I'm not a big fan of it, but I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, we don't want our opponent to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And I love not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you play all the good trap cards in the format. Like every good trap card. 2 Bottomless, 2 Solemn Warning. Maybe this is the best card in the format. I'm not 100% sure yet because I'm still new again back to playing. Having Solemn Warning feels like insane. Oh yeah, and also Solemn Judgment, of course. Then I have 2 Dimensional Prison and 1 Mirror Force. So I'm never sure in these kind of decks if I play 3 Prison or 2 Prison and 1 Mirror Force. Prison is a lot better against TG, and Prison is sometimes even better against like agents to remove their one agent. It always depends, but Mirror Force is just a blowout card, and sometimes people don't play around it. So yeah, I guess this was fine. Mirror Force was good. I think I would play it like this again. You always play Torrential Tribute in every deck, especially in TG. I would play like 3 or 4 if I could, because it's amazing you float with your monsters. And then I played 2 Call of the Haunted. It's maybe one of the weirdest picks in this deck. Call of the Haunted is just good to get more monsters, because sometimes you brick with not enough monsters. And Call of the Haunted with Barbaros is like 3,000, like a 3,000 beat stick. Often it gets like Bottomless or something. That's okay. Then you have a Rhino and you attack with the Rhino.
Yeah, I see that this card wasn't like played by everyone in the past. Maybe more in the Tour Guide builds, and you also have that Sangan interaction, which could come up. But
yes, and one other thing, Call of the Haunted is a good card to side out, because it's not super important. These are also flex spots. If you want, you can play 1. If you can play 0, you can play other stuff. I like Call of the Haunted because, like I said, the deck loses most often if you don't draw any monsters, and I'm just afraid of that for like getting warning on the first TG or something. And because Heavy Storm is allowed, you need to play anti-Heavy Storm cards. We have the Solemn that I already talked about. I love 1 Starlight Road, 1 Dark Bribe over 2 Starlight Roads. I know Tyler Nolan played 2 Starlight Roads, and I think even also 1 Bribe. Dark Bribe is an amazing card. Dark Bribe is not dead against all the stun decks, against like Heroes, against like Gravekeepers. A lot of them don't play any Heavy Storm anymore, but they play like super big blowout cards like Dark Hole, Miracle Fusion, I don't know. And Dark Bribe won me a game against Hymne in the finals with Gravekeepers, because I Dark Bribed, I think, a Solemn or something like that. It was like super amazing. And yeah, just steamrolled from there on. Yeah, and Starlight Road, kind of mandatory. I don't like that card, but it's kind of mandatory in a deck like this. And yes, this deck loses to main deck Royal Decree. Just don't ask. It always loses to main deck Royal Decree. But it's a bit better than other stun decks against Royal Decree.
A floodgate deck losing to a floodgate, the
Yes.
irony.
Yes. You want to go to the side deck next, or do you want?
Yeah, we can do side deck first.
Okay, side deck. I played 3 Maxi. It's not 100% sure if I would play 3 or 2, but it was pretty good. We played a lot of Tango plants and agents and like even Nordic and that stuff. Maxi mostly is like an upstart goblin or +1, which is enough in this deck because, again, you want to draw like your monster and 2 traps, and then you're looking fine. And if you have a bad hand, Maxi can help you. And oftentimes in this format, people just stop playing under Maxi, which I think is also good, but it also helps you like just get stuff on the board. Maxi is pretty good in this kind of deck, in my opinion. Played 2 Cyber Dragons. No one plays any machines in our Tango Plant Discord. Cyber Dragon is still good against Gladiator Beasts, against Heroes, against Gravekeepers. It's amazing. I boarded it in all the time and won 1 game. I think Cyber Dragon is pretty underrated even. Yeah.
Best going second card.
Yes, it is.
on the side deck.
It is. And I know that a lot of people even main decking Cyber Dragon and like some decks. Then we have, have 3 more monsters. We have 2 Thunder King Ryo. Another amazing card in this format. Almost like a lot of decks main deck them. I thought about main decking it. Didn't miss it. I think this kind of deck is weird with Ryo because the TG monsters often don't get Mirror Force, often don't get Bottomless besides Rush Rhino, so Ryo kind of like always goes into these weird traps, so it's not super strong, but going first is still good. And if you play against like Gadget, any Dragon Turbo deck, I don't know, it's still like an amazing card. I would always keep playing it, even though it wasn't so good in this tournament, but I guess it was just a coincidence. And I played 1 Breaker, Magical Warrior. So if you rewatch the stream, Breaker seems like the most amazing card I've ever played because against Gravekeepers is won me like 2 games on its own. It's I'm honest, I looked at Tyler Nolan's sideboard and he played 1 Breaker, and then I thought a bit about it, said, okay, wait, my deck loses to Royal Decree, and that is weird. What do I do against other stun decks? Against other stun decks, I always side on Skill Drain. Then Breaker is also great against these stun decks because it's another monster and it can pop a back row. Okay, let's just try Breaker. And it was like super good when I drew it. I sided it in only against stun decks, like Gravekeepers. And I think that's it. Give me a second. I think it's mostly... Oh no, and against another deck that I knew plays Decree. But that's it. Yeah.
Actually came up in the finals, popping Necro Valley, and then going for that devastating Shinuslaw play.
Yes, it's pretty good. I think it's an underrated card in the format, but it's like not as good as Thunder King, for example. And Thunder, like most decks would opt to run Thunder King instead. I think this ratio, by the way, I would not change it because this deck kind of needs more outs to Royal Decree. So if you want to out to Royal Decree in a monster, try Breaker. By the way, Royal Decree, you always need to play 3 MST in this kind of deck because you lose to Decree. Yeah, that was good. Sided in against every stun deck, against agents all the time because I would think agents side Royal Decree, at least good agent decks. One didn't, unfortunately for me, because then I had like Death Draws in my deck. But yeah, you need to. And then now come the controversial cards where I was asked on stream already. I played sort of 1 Forbidden Lands, 1 Leeching the Light, and 2 Vanity's Emptiness. So I want to play 2 Forbidden Lands, and then before the tournament, I talked with a friend who also likes to play these kind of stun decks. He told me, in stun decks, play 1 Leeching the Light. He told me, it's perfect. 1 Leeching the Light. You can't play more than 1, and then I just believed him. I played against 2 agents, I drew it once. I'm not sure. I don't think I'll play it again. I think a second Forbidden Lands is too strong. I think Forbidden Lands is amazing in this format. Gravekeepers, Heroes, all these kind of weirdo decks get blown out by Forbidden Lands. And Leeching the Light is just okay. It can like win you a lost game once every 5 games. And Vanity's Emptiness, I cited in like 3 times or 4 times. I never drew it, so I'm not sure how good it is. I think it's not super needed because against Tango Plans, like the bad thing about the TG deck is it's this amazing matchup against Tango Plans. So it most often doesn't lose. So if you have any other card. So one thing the TG deck does better than any other deck is going into the extra deck against besides any other stun deck. That's why I think TG is so good in this format. So gadgets, only Utopia. You have heroes, they have like their weird fusions, but that's it. And maybe also an Utopia. But TG can go into the extra deck pretty heavily. So let's start with Chimera Tech Quarter Strength because I play Cyber Drinks and I still have enough space. I think it's needed in this kind of deck. You can also side it, but I don't think I would always main deck it. I play 1 Gachi Gachi, which is a bit weird. I side 3 Maxi, as you see, and with that I have 6 level 2 monsters against some matchups, and it came up in one matchup where I drew 3 Maxi and just summoned 2 Maxi and made Gachi Gachi. I still lost the game, of course, but it was fun. Not mandatory. Think you can cut it. Not sure if I would play it again, but I summoned it at least once. Leviathan, yes, I don't think I've ever summoned it. I only have like Warwolf. It's super cuttable, in my opinion. Roach, never summoned it. Utopia, I think summoned it once? Question mark? Yeah, I think once, but not comes up almost never. So unless you play Mind Control in the side. GG Wonder Magician, super important. One of the best level 5 synchros pops a card from the opponent. If it dies, you can draw one. Just a good utility. Tuner. Also, it's a tuner, so if you then have like a Warwolf, you can go into level 8 afterwards. I don't know, it doesn't happen too often, but just having TG Wonder Magician is okay. Catastor, because Warwolf and TG Striker, if you play 3-3, is one of the most easy synchro ways, and Catastor without skill drain outs like almost every problem monster. I play also 1 Hyper Librarian, which I heard is weird. Yeah, it's a TG monster. You can swap it with TG EM1 if you didn't know it. I think it never comes up, but just you can swap in almost any other card here. I think it comes up not too often. I think the biggest reason to play this one is because it's an auto Catastor if you don't have skill drain up. You know, maybe it happens. I had enough to play Barkion and Brionac and Gaia Knight. The Force of Earth is 6 because Rhino and Striker make level 6. Barkion came up like once, but it's I don't think it's like a lot better than Gaia Knight, to be honest. Gaia Knight is 2/6 and Gaia Knight runs over Stardust. Gaia Knight I got like twice in this tournament. It's one of the best synchros in the deck, even though it can do like nothing. You see, it's like the vanillist of vanilla. Yeah.
Would you add like an Orient Dragon?
Orient Dragon was in the deck for a long time. Yes, maybe. So I would add an Orient Dragon most likely. I'm not sure over what. So why I showed Black Rose. I'm not sure how you make Black Rose in this deck. I always play Black Rose, but I'm not sure. Like you only have level 2 tuners, so you need like level 5. So like Maxi plus Warwolf plus Striker. So I would maybe cut this one or this or Gachi Gachi to add a Orange Dragon.
Would you add a Power Gladiator?
Oh yeah, you just told me about Power Gladiator. I'm honest, I didn't know that this card exists. I would maybe think of adding Power Gladiator over Librarian. It's Power Gladiator also Dark Monster, do you know that?
No, it's an Earth monster.
Okay, yeah, then I would need to think, because running over Catastor sometimes. But I think adding Orient Dragon at least is important in this deck, but yeah, I just didn't. I also run Scrap Dragon, never comes up. Stardust because of Starlight Road. And Trishula, the best synchro in this deck.
Yeah, the MVP in the final.
Yeah, MVP in the final and in other games too, because Striker, Warwolf, Rhino, or Striker, Warwolf, any level 4 makes Trishula, and if it's uninterrupted, you most often win the game. And that is what I like about TGs, what I said. Most other stun decks don't have these blowout plays, but here, the opponent thinks, I get rid of all my, like, I don't know, Mirror Force, maybe even you get rid of Tarantula, and then I do Trishula, and they are, oh fuck, what happened? So, yes, that is the deck. I quite like the deck, to be honest. It was my first time playing TG in like 10 years, so I'm not the biggest expert on the deck, but I did play it in locals when, like, around 2010 to 2012, and yeah, I would say it's one of the strongest deck in the format, but not the best. So it's really good against all the strong decks, but it's weak against some of the rogue matchups, in my opinion. So in the tournament, I started against Vayu Torbu, was my first matchup, and I've nearly lost. Like the first game, I lost after the second turn. I lost because BLS, Dark Armed, Armed Winger was just dead. And I nearly lost the third game too, and I got super lucky. But then I played Tango Plans, Agents, and these are great matchups in my opinion, especially like a Tango Plant. I think Agent is okay, it depends, but Tango Plans is amazing. It's one of the decks I want to face with this deck. Against Agent, as always, depends on who starts, if they have Venus or not. Gachi Gachi is a bit of an issue with this kind of deck, but it's not as bad as with other decks. Yeah, then I played a Nordic deck, which I just won super, super fast against because if you play smart and don't give them their blowout plays, they just try to grind a bit, and no one outgrinds TGs. TGs are the best grind deck in the format. Then I played. Give me a second. What did I play in top 4? I really forgot what I played in top 4. I played Gravekeeper twice. I remember that. I think it was another Tengu. Oh god.
Did you play against Brahim or against Blaze Phoenix? I think. Yeah, you played against Blaze Phoenix.
Yeah, Tengu Plant. Yeah, I played against Blaze Phoenix again. Yeah, that's again Tengu Plant. Great matchup. Was a good match, and then I played against Gravekeeper twice. Gravekeeper also is maybe like this is the only stun deck that can beat Gravekeepers because you don't care about destruction at all. So Descendant is not that bad, and you also have like a lot of traps against these monsters. And was it the last in the final and the second match or first match? I won because Gravekeepers just run out, like didn't have any monsters anymore. And yeah, that's pretty bad, of course.
Yeah, like in game 3 where you completely grinded when you went.
Game 3 I remember.
When you went for the search with the Floater, and yeah, then I realized he doesn't have a target left.
Yes, so I would say this deck is really, really good, but it's like I also got lucky in this tournament. You need to get lucky to win, and with being lucky, I don't mean only like draw luck, but what you play against. I played against 2 Tango Plants, which I like. I played against 2 Gravekeepers, also one Gravekeeper, but twice against the same one. And if I would have played against, for example, like Scraps is a really weird matchup, I think, or Psychics or Karakuri, I'm not sure if I would have won that much. Or X-Saber. Like X-Saber is one of the matchup I think is like super good against this kind of deck. So yes, I hope more players will play TG, but I also hope more players will just play more different decks than Tango Plants and Agent, because you see, if everyone played the same decks, you can come prepared with this one or with Gravekeepers, and this is what happened.
What do you think? Which matchups could you be afraid of? Maybe like X-Sabers, especially the Decree build.
Yes, X-Sabers, Karakuri, I think too, if they start, because it's pretty difficult to break a big board. And not many decks make big boards on the first turn. Even Tango Plant doesn't do it too often. Maybe it depends on the draw. I don't think I'd like to play against like Machina stuff, because Machina Fortress is a house, and if I don't have Prison or Bottomless, it's just weird to out that. And they also, if they play like Gadget, they also have recurring monsters. So that is not a matchup I'd like to play, unless I have Skill Drain, of course. But you know, that's a blowout anyway. And I don't like to play against Gladiator Beasts. Gladiator Beast would also mostly win against this deck, I think, because I set small monsters and they run over them.
So all the like the rogue matchups. So people, if you want to beat like the deck of the champion in the future Tengumanias, play X Sabers. That's something we can take away from that video.
Yes.
Also, by the way, I have to throw it out myself. Scraps is also a super hard matchup unless you have the TGEM1. But
Yes. Yeah, Scraps, I think Scrap Dragon also, if you play good, just pops the card every turn and like a back row every turn, which is super annoying.
So thanks for the deck profile. And congratulations to your win again. Was a blast last weekend. So hope you see you in the future in other tournaments or even in Tengumanias to defend your title. Until then, that was it with the deck profile. If you want to also take part in our tournaments, in our monthly tournaments, or in the big Tengumania events, join the Discord Tenguplantown. Link is in the description. And also subscribe to Photoshoot, the me, Tenguplantown, and also TCG Rewind to get information about the greatest retro format in Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, hope we see you in the future again. Until then, goodbye.
Bye bye.